recording. Hello, everybody, and we've got two special guests with us today. We've got Dale Holmes and Maddy from Sky to Earth. Thank you for joining us today, guys.
Thanks for having us. Very excited to chat.
Nice. We've been meaning to chat with you guys for some time. So I've got you on the show today, to speak about the Sky to Earth conference that's coming up, which I think is really, really important for people to be aware of the amazing work that you guys are doing. So do you want to just fill us in a little bit about the Sky to Earth conference that's coming up? I'm not sure if Dale or Maddy wants to go ahead
What do you
first.
do you want me to go?
Dale, I'll fill in the gaps.
All right, I'll start because Maddy, like credit to Maddy because she created it.
Yeah.
And we spoke recently how it's kind of taken a life of its own, that we kind of don't feel it's really ours anymore. It's turned into a bit of a community.
Yeah.
So basically, Maddy started Sky Earth Academy. How long, Maddy? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, I think so. 2 years now, maybe a bit over. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was, and it's really, I guess, you can speak to this later, Madeline, but she basically had like a vision for new education, really.
Yeah.
And a lot of these things are I guess she kind of just threw herself into it, and saw that there was a need, and a want for people to learn through conversations, and sharing together. And it's so I came on as a guest presenter, I think twice, Mads, maybe yeah, at least twice. And so from there, then Maddie's like, well, do you want to we'll run like a 9-week conference. So we did that. I think we did that like mid last year. We ran the first one, and yeah, it was awesome. I absolutely loved it. And basically, what we do is we get different experts and presenters in all different fields. We're trying to just trying to understand ourselves and the world and consciousness and psychology and law, and tying all these different people together from and seeing these stories from like people that really know the Bible and the Christian perspective to like tribal stories, and seeing how everything kind of interrelates, because we've noticed, particularly in the truther circles and stuff, that people get really attached to certain belief systems, or they'll go down a certain rabbit hole, and then this becomes the truth, and then they shut off to lots of other things.
Yeah.
So we really try and target or open up for people that just start with a blank piece of paper and just let the information go where it will. And we kind of didn't know where the conferences would go, and we started to like see little stories and patterns being created, that we didn't even know at the time. Yeah. We do 2 calls a week. We have a presenter come on, and then we do a roundtable, and it's either usually a discussion of what's come up within the last week,
Yeah.
Or talking about the previous presentation. And then we have like a closed group on Telegram where everyone just kind of shares. And over time, lots of these groups have started to meet in person. So yeah, basically we're doing it again. We start on May the 8th.
Yep.
We've got regulars who kind of come on. So we've got like Will Keller and David Whitehead, who you might know from like Cult of the Medics and stuff like that. And they've been regulars, as well as Clint Walker, who's a tribal man from Karratha, Mads, in WA.
Yeah, that's right. There we go. I've got it up on the screen.
And so yeah, Clint kicks it off, because Clint, I guess, because Maddy can talk about this, but he's been a great teacher for Madeline, and then eventually for me as well. And he ties a lot of different things together. So we've got all that, and then I think we've got Anarchy Lucas, Kathy O'Brien, who was like really pivotal to my understanding of mind control many years ago, when we got her on. Then we got Stephen Evans Strong, because we always have like try and relate these world events to what's happening in Australia, and usually try to go back to like the tribal stories as well.
And
Who else, Matt?
it all makes sense, doesn't it? When you all
Yeah,
sit
so
together
I
and
mean, and
collaborate together, it just all fits in, all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle.
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so the other thing too, so we got the payments. What is it, man? It's 350. So you know, a large chunk of the money that we do get for it, we actually give to the presenters as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Maddie's been really strong on that. That we want to honor and credit these people for the work that they've done, not just for our conference, but in the past too. And it's a tough thing asking for money in this space because
Yeah.
you know, there's lots of different, what would you call them, distortions around what money is and energy and all this kind of thing. So we feel it's important to contribute back to these people that have really dedicated their life to the truth. But anyway, so we got Ole Demigard on too, which was quite topical after like what happened in Sydney the other week. And there you go, Tom Barnett.
Mm.
Tom's a regular as well. But
Oh,
yeah, Matt,
that's fantastic.
is there anything you want to?
Yeah, well, I saw this quote the other day. It's by Philip Ball. And it's a long quote, but I'll just read the first line. It has been argued that the wisest crowds are the most diverse. And I feel like when we jump into these spaces, because everyone's got they're coming from a different background, some of them have spent their whole life researching a certain area. When we like connect with all of them and then we're having our group discussions, the awareness and the kind of conversation discussion points that come out of that rather than just focusing on one perspective or one topic is massive. Like, and I think that's really what's led us to keep doing them, is because we've just, even Dale and I are literally really starting to see things on many levels and from different angles, and balance has been a big thing that has come forward as well. And it's just turned into this incredible space where I called it I can't even say it now, synthesizing dialogue,
Mm.
where it's kind of like we're bringing together all of these different perspectives and understandings. And that was the old way of learning, was through dialogue and storytelling and sharing. Not so much that people are going into this kind of room and they're just learning these different things. It's actually we're having conversations and asking questions. And I have learned so much, and my level of awareness around different topics have just grown exponentially since this space. And the biggest reason why I created it was because I wanted this space myself, because I couldn't see anything like it where we were just bringing in different, so many different people.
Mm.
But yeah, and like Dale said, also creating a sort of, I don't know, it's sort of like changing things around. Like we're donating to these guest speakers, they're researchers turned teachers almost, you know what I mean? Like to see them continue this work, because as all of us probably know, it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy,
Yeah.
a lot of sacrifice. You sacrifice a lot through your life to be able to, to take the time to really understand these things. So, supporting these people in the space as well. But the group, you could see that, well, we added all the testimonials on the page. The biggest thing is a community. It's just
Yeah.
like another level. Yeah.
And there's nothing better than that, than surrounding yourself with like-minded people and just having that discussion.
Mm.
It's so hard. We spend most of our time in front of a computer researching and so on, but the human connection is just outstanding. All those energies coming together, it just puts
Mm.
that fire back in your belly.
Yeah,
And
that's it. That's it.
that's what they tried to do. They tried to cut us off from that connection, and I think it's
Well,
beautiful.
Beck, that's what I loved. I loved like hanging out with your group too. I've got to say, Beck, like, that was such a nice group of people you had there.
Yeah.
And I got to credit you for that too, because there was a few people from Sky to Earth that came that I hadn't
Oh,
met.
that's cool. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I got to thank
Do,
you for that.
do you guys find that the knowledge, when you're talking to the people, the knowledge seems to sink in better than by sitting there and reading and like going through a computer or something like that? Do you find that like you create your own story to remember what's going on?
Yeah. And also you ask questions to them based off your like current awareness and what you're also researching and looking into at the time. So it kind of creates a new context. And I think a lot of people that come in, they've obviously come in through like me or Dale, and then they have that awareness of what we're sort of looking into and asking questions about. And then what comes out of the presenters is sort of framed in that space, as opposed to if we read their work, their articles, or listen to their you know, their own stuff that they've put out where it's not as interactive. You know, there's sort of like that level of we create our own jargon, you know what I mean? So when we can have dialogue with people, we sort of connect and see where that meeting point is, where we both understand what we're asking, and we can get, I guess, have a greater understanding through that rather than just listening or passive listening or passive reading. Yeah. So I definitely find I'm learning a lot more in the space than just watching their stuff. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
that
just
personal experiences too, right? That people bring to the conversation. You know, it kind of each one of us has a piece of the puzzle that we can add to the bigger picture. And yeah, the personal connections, the you know, when we come together physically in a room, you know, the energies and the sharing, you just cannot beat that. Cannot beat that.
I agree. Yeah. Totally agree.
I was seeing you up with the mic, Doris. You were like, you're absolutely natural.
Nobody else wants to take to the mic, you see. So,
I know. I
Well,
know.
that's
She
what you
tried to
said,
get me to
Becky did.
introduce you, and I was like, no way. There's like 70 people here. And she's like, you do interviews all the time. You're out there. And I'm like, it's just different.
It's different.
It's that, yeah, you seeing people watching you, and it just, yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but public speaking, it's not for me in a big forum anyway. Not yet. That's maybe something I can add to my to-do list.
Yeah, it takes a little bit to work up to it, but you'll get there.
Yeah. I think it comes down to that indoctrination too, when you think about it, of what people think of people. You know how there's just all that bullshit that's out there. You have to look like this, you have to be like this, and the way that people attack people for certain things. I think that's still in a lot of people's minds as well. With me, of course, it is. Thinking, oh my God, am I going to say something wrong, or was my understanding not going to be right? Even though I'm confident within myself of what I know, it's still, you've still got that little bit in the back of your mind that just sits there.
what did you say actually? You make me laugh so much. First of all, she says that she should picture everybody naked, right?
I
To
give
make it
the best
easier.
advice, but I never take it myself.
And then you said somebody actually used a real blooper that you'll never forget.
Oh, that's right.
How do
Yeah,
you
we went to we're at a wedding actually, and my brother hates public speaking. And my sister had like over 400-500 people. It was a ridiculous wedding. And he was so nervous. He had so many beers, and he's like, oh, I've got it all written down. And he gets up there and he said, I'd like to wank everyone for coming instead of thank. And everyone just lost it. They thought it was just, him being Gus. And it was just so embarrassing, and he just rolled with it. Like,
Yeah, sometimes that's the best thing though. And then
yeah. And I was saying it to Doris, and she's like, oh, now I'm going to be thinking about that when I introduce Dale.
I reckon it's the most underrated skill. Like when I taught in Europe, every part of like the British system there is every time they do like assignment based learning, all the kids, and then at the end of your assignment you have to get up and present. So the kids are probably like at least once a week or every 2 weeks, every kid has to get up in front of the class and present. And like no one likes it at the start. There's the odd person that loves being the public spotlight, but most people don't. And all the kids they become so good at it. They become really confident in themselves. And like I don't think it's done enough in schools now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And it's not, because there's a lot of, within schools, there's a lot of you've got kids that have got special needs. Well, obviously, like some of them have got dyslexia and things like that. And I think they really need to focus on that. Like back in my day, they used to make sure that everyone made that person feel special, and then after you would speak or do something on a project, go up there and do your public speaking, especially in my school, which I quite liked. They would all say, it would go around the room and they would say like what they thought of the presentation. And it was all just an uplifting thing. And these days you don't get that. There's none of that.
Feedback.
No feedback at all. Yeah.
Mm.
They don't want us to give feedback.
Mm.
opinions and
I think
thoughts are not encouraged, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
yeah, I was gonna say I think drama is really important for kids too. It can be like
Yeah.
really,
I agree.
yeah. And I love
Yeah.
drama at school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, my son's doing drama this year, and I was like, "What?" And he's very, I was telling you, Dale, he's got quite a bit of social anxiety. And um, I've just noticed within the last year, he's just flourished. He's came out of his shell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. And I think solely
They're
it's
in the
from
drama.
drama.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah,
Drama and his sports teacher. His sports teacher just gives him
That's
so
awesome.
much credit. Um, yeah, which he comes home and says he did this and he reckons I'm this. And yeah, so that's what's
yeah.
missing
All
in.
the things that are devalued at school are like the important stuff, be like the all the creative side, and
Yeah.
it's all very left brain. But like, yeah, like I think like team sport for kids is so big. Even like martial arts is fantastic for kids,
Yeah.
kids' confidence. I know you were
Mm.
a swimmer, weren't you, Matt? Like you did a lot of swimming, didn't you, as a kid?
Swimming, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, swimming, martial arts. Martial arts good for discipline.
Yeah.
Self-discipline, I mean, not discipline. Self-discipline.
Self-mastery, yeah.
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 Beck, your cat is so beautiful.
She is so naughty, Maddie.
Oh my gosh, I just love her though. What kind of
It's-
cat is she?
She's
It's got a weird coat, doesn't it? It's like
just a tabby. So
Oh my
I
gosh, so beautiful. She
I
looks like a
rescued
cross ragdoll or something. She's gorgeous.
yeah, I rescued her, and
Oh my gosh,
she's
darling.
look at her.
I never used to be into
I can-
cats, but I adopted a cat and now I'm like all about the cats. They are special.
They are very they're very demanding, but also very loving, and they've got their own.
Oh,
I
I
don't
just
know,
love them.
there's something about cats.
I know.
you guys-
And I used to be like,
There's
not
some
the,
sort
I
of
used to be the
energy.
dog person, like that would be like, oh, cats. But now I'm like, I really get it.
And when you look into cats, they're very like hierarchy. They find themselves to be like the top of the top. You know,
Yeah.
like she rules the house.
they're
My
And
dog is
what about their eyes? I actually have this theory that they were actually like hybrid and like created from snakes so that they could have like snake pets back in the day because their eyes are like reptilian looking.
they are.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
the Egyptians, Dale. He's giving me
Yeah.
funny looks.
I
They're
don't
like they like put the cats up as this, like they were very.
Yeah.
I reckon they
Yeah.
actually created them so they could have them as pets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen the ones that look like a Bengal tiger?
No.
They've actually got the stripe or
One,
the pattern of a Bengal tiger.
Wow.
like domestic cats, but look
Yeah.
like a tiger. All right.
Yeah,
They're huge.
my mum.
They're massive cats.
Yeah, my mum, when she was doing dolls or whatever, she used to have the ladies come around, the old girls, they'd come in and they'd sit down and do something. And one day, one of the ladies showed us some pictures of her cat. And I'm like, what? You've got a Bengal tiger? And she's like, no, it's a cat. It's like, it's only this big. And I'm like, holy
Wow.
crap. It looked like a Bengal tiger.
That's so, yeah,
Hey,
wow.
what's with like like real dog people that despise cats? Well, I never understood that. I'm like, how can
No,
you
that was me. And I think it was
What is
just
that?
I think it's just taking on an archetype. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm a dog person, so therefore I hate cats.
Yeah,
You
but-
know,
yeah,
like
but
I
that-
think it's just taking on an archetype.
And I think it's those that have never actually had time with a cat. Like you'll say to them, why don't you like them? Have you ever had one as a pet? No.
Mm.
I
Hate
love them, but
you know.
I'm allergic to them.
Oh, are you?
I was
Yeah.
too, Dale. You just blast that off.
Yeah.
It's not even a thing. You could probably, yeah, anyway.
I think I'm allergic because I've got like the worst hay fever. Like Justin and Doris will say, oh, you still got that cough. And it's like, no, I think it's the animals. I think it's the fur.
Oh, all the
I've got a
time.
husky too, and he just sheds like anything. Yeah. So I think I'm very much, there's something wrong with
Yeah, I cleared
being
mine.
allergic to.
I like when we first had the cat, like when we first moved here, because we adopted them from the last owners, my eyes blew up like red and I was like snotty and Ash was like, my husband, he was like, you didn't tell me you're allergic to cats. I was like, don't worry, I'll get rid of it. Anyway, all good now.
Hence why I've made the colloidal silver spray today.
Yeah.
Oh, for Beck.
I've got dogs and
yeah.
so fur everywhere.
Yeah.
So remind me to give you a little little something something.
You reckon colloidal silver works for
Look,
for
we're going to try. We're going.
I use it on my dog's eye. Because he's a Labrador, yellow Labrador, so he gets like that browny kind of muck around the eye and the male part.
Yeah.
And one of the girls was actually Mama from True Seekers. She because she makes her own colloidal silver as well. She said try that. So I started just putting the drops in and just wiping off the brown part of the muck or whatever from around his eye, and it works.
It's such a good
Good stuff.
antibacterial. Yeah.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring up also, I sent you a photo, Dale, of the shrine.
Oh yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Want to have a little discussion of that?
I'll just get that. Yeah.
Hey, I sent you a book on ley lines too, Dale, on Telegram, but
Did you? When did you
that
send
was a while ago, man. When you were doing your I can't remember the blonde lady's name, but you were talking about the shrine, that 5-part series I think you're up to now.
With Nikki. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm so useless. Half time I don't even read the Telegram comments. But yeah. If you get my number, send it to me. Send it to me again. Be interested.
Yeah, I'll give you his number too. I'm just going to try to bring up the photos.
So this is it here.
Yeah. Why the hell do they use red? Like,
Well, that's weird
it was
because
just
I just saw on YouTube yesterday that was it last night? Something about Greece is just like orange.
Is it?
Well, you
Yeah.
can only see, I think you can see the interdimensional beings on the infrared spectrum. Have you seen that thing with the goggles and they could see the winged serpents when they went to war? So I think there's some kind of like conjuring thing when it comes to infrared.
Funny you say that because in the video, the person was actually talking about they reckon they could see like a black entity in the sky.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it conjures them up, but I know that you can see them on the infrared spectrum. They exist on the infrared spectrum. If people have them within their field, they're on the infrared part of their field. But I don't know, it could be that it actually brings them forward. I'm not actually sure. But that's why they say like around sunset, like in the mental hospitals and what was it called? Psychiatric wards, mental hospitals, probably shouldn't call it that. And the aged care after 3 o'clock, they call it a certain thing, like they lose it. And it's because of not because of, but essentially the sun's obviously setting and it's bringing through that, the infrared, it's, moving into the infrared and it like brings forward the beings in the field.
And can I ask, what about the numbers, the date, yesterday's date? Do we have anything on that? Has anyone looked into it?
Well, yeah, it's funny you say that because I felt extremely tired yesterday. And I've got my friend staying over and she's pregnant, and you obviously have fatigue through pregnancy, but she was particularly tired yesterday. My hubby was tired and the animals, because I've got a few animals, the horses, which are they're always bloody eating all the time. At around, like, I don't know, from about 11 till about 2 or 3, they were just like, it was so weird. Like the energy just felt really interesting. And I did have that thought, but I didn't look into anything. I know we've just gone through the Scorpio full moon, but
it's April 25th falls it's in the last week of the 40-day season of sacrifice, which ends on the Sabbath of May the 1st. So it's like, if you look at all those, like a lot of those big dates, like in wars and false flags, they all fall in between equinox and May the 1st. So like that is their
we should
time
ask.
of year. But
We should ask Donovan.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I was going to say with the infrared as well, because Rachel Bourne's come on our conference. Are we having her on again, Matt? But anyway, first time we saw her, she did like the presentation on the ley lines, and like everyone was mind blown when she did this. But she spoke about this heterocentrochromia, which I've actually got. I don't know if you can see. but it's basically where you've got two different color pigmentation within the eye, and it's
Ah,
she went through the statistics, and it's basically, I think it's less than 1% of the human population has this, because there's heterochromia, which is two different eyes, two different color, like one
yeah.
eye's this color, one's the other, and there's heterocentrochromia, which is two within the one eye, which is even rarer. And so the Nazis, when they were doing their experiments, this is why you heard the targeting of gypsies within they took the gypsies, and so the gypsy people of Eastern Europe and the Mid East have the highest percentage of heterocentrochromia. And what Rachel said is people that have got this eye pigmentation have more access to infrared.
That's
Oh,
so interesting.
So
My
they
family are gypsies.
have more ability to see the unseen realm, and that she said that it usually happens within the periphery of your vision. And this is what they were, when they were studying mind sciences and stuff too. That there's a real target on categorizing the human race into certain blood types and
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
genomes. And anyway, so this is if you look at a lot of people in Hollywood, like we've only less than 1% of the population that has this eye pigmentation. It's like over 50% in Hollywood. So
Wow, what?
yeah, so anyway, so where was I going
Interesting.
with it? But yeah, so like the April 25th, like it's no mistake that Anzac Day falls within the season of sacrifice. Especially, and Mark Passio teaches that the last 13 days, leading up to May 1st, that's when there's generally more events. Yeah.
Mm. It's crazy what you can dive into, isn't it? I think everyone's going to be checking their eyes later. As soon as I get off, I'm
Well,
going to go check my eyes.
I started putting up posts about this, and I had a lot of people. There was someone in our group, Mads, in the conference that they had it, and they've also got RH negative. So they're even
Mm.
so there's more, like they say that RH negatives have like psychic abilities and stuff too. So
Mm.
yeah, it's
Ah,
interesting.
in my 20s, when I discovered my mother had one green eye and one blue eye, and I thought, how did I
Oh,
not?
you've got it.
I've got it in my family. Yeah, yeah. So,
Oh, right. So you still do? You still got one color, one the other?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
really
Oh,
prevalent
okay.
some time ago. But you can still, when you tune in, focus, you can definitely see one blue, one green. Quite.
Wow.
I thought, have I had too many
Yeah.
dreams, or
What
am
about
I?
you, Justin? What about you, Justin?
Mine are both blue. I think I just have that psychic ability or some kind of ability like that. I don't know, just the last probably 2, maybe 4 years, but definitely the last 2. I don't know. I'm trusting my gut instinct more, and I seem to see things. I don't know how to explain it. I don't see things. I just see things
You can envision
happening, or I
stuff.
feel things happening,
Yeah.
and I kind of pick up on it, and then I'd put it there in my head, and then it'd just be like, I don't know, maybe 6 months later, I go, oh, wow, that actually happened. Or just
Yeah.
recently, I've gotten to the point where I'm trying not to come out and say stuff, because I think by me saying stuff, I'm actually,
Making it happen.
yeah, well, we know that actually
Manifesting
does
it.
happen. What you say, you create, kind of thing. But then, I don't know, I guess I'm trying to be more positive and not say certain things, because I could see things happening, and then I'd come out and say things to people, and I was thinking, well, I still think that maybe that had an effect on things. So I've tried not to. I see it and I keep it for myself, and I don't necessarily come out now and say it. So I just trying to see if it actually is or does happen.
But then
Mm.
you can't do the "I told you so."
Yeah.
You have to let the ego go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone's got sort of that spiritual gift. It's just having to try to tune into it, And I was on a call just a few nights ago. I think it was, when was it, Doris? Tuesday night. To a remote viewer over in Holland, and
Mm.
he is exceptional. He is a fascinating creature. I'll have to try to connect you with him. And
Hope
he
not if he's a creature.
pardon? A creature. He might be a creature. He's some sort of creature. Maybe he's someone coming to warn us about stuff. But he was just fascinating. He was talking about frequencies and meditation and doing all this other stuff. And yeah, he opened my eyes to quite a few things. I was just like, wow. And he knew things about me that I was like, what? How do you know that shit?
Isn't that scary? I don't like that.
Yeah, it was freaky. Yeah. So
I used to do that when I would see psychics, and some of the stuff they started saying started happening, and then anytime a psychic told me anything, I would make sure that whatever they projected wouldn't happen. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
they're like, you're gonna do this, and I'm like, well, I'm not now. Not now that
Mm,
you've told me. I'm like, I'm gonna do the opposite.
you're gonna change its course.
It's almost like we're bringing it on, right? The
Mm,
thought, the thought, I don't know, manifestation, I don't know. Just I actually told Beck, as wonderful as this person is, I said, just go sage. Go cleanse your space,
I was
aura.
changing myself quite heavily the other day. My animals hate sage too. As soon as I get my sage stick, they bolt out of the house, and they do not come back in until that smell's gone.
Oh, wow.
Mm. All right, so with just do you want to just do a little quick intro into ley lines, because there's a lot of people in my group that are like, how do they don't really know the intent, the not the intent, they don't really know grasp what a ley line is. How is the best way that we can explain ley lines, Dave?
Do you want to answer
I
this
think
one, Mads?
I think I'm actually sitting on
Maddie's
one.
living on one. Maddie lives on one.
I had I'm assuming you've heard a bit from Rachel, and yeah. So I had a call with Rachel yeah, a couple of months ago, and she was just sharing different things. She did a reading for me. And it was really funny because near the end of it, I was sort of looking out the window at this area, and it's a really obvious ley line. And I was just staring at it while she was talking. And then she says to me, and I also really feel like you're in quite a significant ley line. And I was like, it's so funny you just said that, because I'm literally
Wow.
staring at the one that that I think is one. And I was actually gonna ask if you could pick that up. But I actually think I'm on a cross point. But the interest, like, I'll share my thing and then Dale could dive in. But I've learned mostly from tribal people around what essentially the ley lines are song lines, and so they hold the song of areas, and that vibration manifests as different land formations and things like that. And so what I've found is that the song lines tend to have either around them there's sort of like these significant tree formations or mountain structures, or there's sort of these things where it's kind of like this vibration has manifested into physical form, and you can kind of see the lines. And so near me, like literally, I don't know how far it is. I'm not very good with distance, but I'm pretty much parallel to this massive kind of ridge mountain line, or like range line. It's kind of like a sort of range before it goes over the hills, and then parallel right on a creek that actually links to the main river system that goes out to the ocean. And yeah, then further along there's actually a mountain that I was riding around on a brumby and ended up jumping off the brumby and injuring myself. And it was interesting at the time because when I was riding through, I was like, this mountain, I was like, this mountain's significant. I think I should be doing this with permission. Like I should be getting permission to actually be riding around it. And after that thought, it was probably 5 minutes before things went haywire. And all the rest of it. And then later I found out it was, I looked up some stuff online, and it was called a talking mountain, and it's where would do the corroborees, initiations, and these different ceremonies. And that is actually exactly in line. If like I draw a line from my house to there, it's completely straight and parallel to that mountain line. So when I hear the word like ley line or song line, I know that there is essentially energy that's running along it and can be utilized. And that's obviously where they put certain things, and they've put churches and things in certain areas because it essentially holds a charge for a particular thing. And in the Pilbara, they have what's called I think it's called Thurlu sites, and they're essentially called increase sites. And so they would do ceremonies at these particular areas to increase wheat or like grain, for bread, to increase fish, to increase turtles. There's actually also a death site. So people could actually take the life of another if they sacrifice years of their life, and things like that. And they are all on song lines. There's fertility sites that are on song lines. And essentially, and they also say the ancestors walk along, the old people walk along the song lines as well. So that's my understanding of it, but Dale can dive in if he wants to. Or not.
You're on mute, man.
You've got yourself muted.
The reason I muted was I was just going to share a couple of pictures. So I was sending them through, and they were going ding ding ding. I don't know if you heard that.
Hang on.
Because you can visually see them, and the way that I like, because I can see it. So I sent a few pictures to Dale of this one, and the trees have actually formed around, and it's kind of like that vibration holds a charge, and it's almost like creates this funnel. And Rachel said that you can usually see them quite easily in bush and like kind of bushy areas, because no trees grow there, because it's like too much charge, like too much energy there. So you can kind of see how the trees even form around them and twist, and they change.
That, like the kangaroos, I think she said dogs won't go through them, but you'll notice there's places in the bush where the kangaroos will move through, and they've created an opening. And what it is,
would be their song line.
The roos are actually following the song line. But like when she started showing these pictures, and then I've started seeing them in nature now, it's an absolute mind blow. Like you just when you see it. But do you want me to share these ones, Beck? Because
yeah, go for it.
So I went up to Mount Macedon the other day, and the reason I did that was me and Rachel, we did a video on that, and there was a guy that had done her course and had sent in these pictures. So there's an area up there called there's a big cross. I can't remember what it's called. It's called something cross, Mount Macedon. But I'll just give you an example. Oh wait, I'm going to share. Hang on. Wait. Hang on.
Yeah, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
It's actually just called the Mount Macedon Memorial Cross.
Memorial Cross, yeah. Okay. So tell me if you can see these. Can you see that?
Yeah. We can see your folder.
Oh, wait, can you see this picture or not?
No.
We
can just see a folder.
It's like a Zoom folder.
That's shit. Maybe it's not going to work.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Yeah.
You see it? You see the rabbit?
Yeah. Wow.
I took this picture, and this is what, like, a lot of the times when you start taking photos of these ley lines, there's like these indentations of like animals and stuff. But like this one was trippy. This tripped me out.
I see a gremlin too up the top.
But I'll show you another one where you might actually be able to see the ley.
Are we going to start looking at
You're back in the Zoom folder again.
Oh, fuck's sake. It's like, excuse me.
That's okay.
I really suck at this. Hang on. Oh, okay. Now, do you know Straws Lane?
We can't see anything.
It's just like a bar, like the top of the.
Can't see that? Oh, let's forget
I'm
it.
pretty sure Mercury retrograde's over, Dale. You've got no excuse now.
Anyway, I'll send it to you. I'm gonna have to just ruin it. Anyway, it's I mean, like from what I can see that they are, and what I found interesting, Rachel speaks.
These ones, Dale, that you've got on your Telegram. Is that what you're trying to share?
Yeah, there's some other ones. Now, what I did with this picture here is I flipped it upside down, right? Because now, if you're looking at the cross, see, can you see the circle around the cross? So if you let your eyes relax, Mads will be able, because
Like
Rachel's
around here.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the lay. That's feeding into what I believe is a portal. So that's built on a portal.
Okay. Yeah.
And a lot of times they'll build structures, but they build them on a mound because the lay will run. It's a certain level above the ground. It's not on the ground. So this is why they build certain things on mounds. But yeah. So if anyone does anyone know Straws Lane? Have you heard of Straws Lane?
No.
I
No.
went down there, and this is like it's famous for you can put your car. It's on an incline, and your car will roll uphill. Right?
Is that Dalesford?
No, it's just here. It's just near Macedon.
There's one in
So,
Dalesford too that
well,
does that.
apparently so yeah, so they found it like it's a high energetic area, but you know, it kind of says a lot there. So I took a picture of Straws Lane. I'm not sure if you got it there. No, that's
Just
not
going.
it. Yeah, this one. So that's Straws Lane there too. So you can see this is actually a lay that is
It's
running
huge.
along the
That,
path. Can you
like
see it?
the,
Yeah,
the circle here. Yeah.
yeah. So they actually start small and they'll build out.
So big,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you'll see bigger and bigger. But you basically just got to relax the eye.
Like a little duck here too. Bird. It's funny what you can see when you open your mind to stuff, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. So anyway, I send them to Rachel, and she's like, yeah.
It's
But do
crazy.
you want to explain as
So
well what you mean by portal, Dale? Because everyone
okay,
has
so
their
like a portal
definition.
is like and again, I'm no expert, but basically firstly the lays aren't they're not scarce. Like they're everywhere, right? If you go in the bush, you'll see them. And
Mhm.
what they do is all where the lays intersect and feed into one a crossing over point, that's a portal, right? And the major portals are what Rachel's called the dragon lines, or and these are the main ones, and the crossovers is what they're the chakra points of the planet. You know, and people say that Uluru is a solar plexus and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm.
But it's really interesting. It just goes into the understanding that we're living in a hologram and we're living in a holographic reality, and therefore, because you know we know about the meridians on the body, you know, with like Chinese acupuncture and all that kind of stuff. So it's the exact same because in a hologram, everything's a smaller part of the whole. So therefore, the Earth has its own meridians, its own dragon lines, um, and yeah, ultimately, so this is what Rachel's kind of been pushing for now. She's trying to get a bit of a movement going for people to go out in their local area and start communicating with the lays, because she believes that they're, you know, and I do too, that they've a lot of the corrupting of this reality, and even projecting of what we see and what we feel, is because they've hijacked these lays, especially on the key portals. So she's encouraging people, especially to sing, to go out there, and if you can, you know, if you got a good voice, it probably helps, but I don't think it really matters. She said like the intention's the most important part, but if especially because she also mentioned that there's probably a reason they call them song lines, and Mads can probably add more of this, but she believes that the reason they're called song lines is there's some sort of auditory um, phenomena that happens within these two, and it would make sense of why the tribal people traveled along the lays, is because they were communicating with the song which is actually part of the land, and then it makes a lot more sense when they say like how important the song is to their culture and their and to the area, because it's literally tied into the land.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get like if people can go out and spot them and that and sing,
Oh,
play
wow.
drums or whatever you want to do, or just put good intention into it.
There's a few highways as well that are directly on
Yeah,
some lines too.
yeah. So they build, and it makes sense too when they knock down these sacred sites to build highways on them. You're like, well, of course they're building a highway because the people are traveling along the lay. They want to keep the
energy.
travel along. Yeah.
Or disrupting sometimes, right? Disrupting
Yeah.
that flow.
Mm.
Yeah.
With what
Well,
happens
yeah.
and
Well,
road rage.
yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I mean, if you look now too with technology and everything's going like digital, it's almost mimicking the natural flow of these, because the lays don't run straight either. They kind of move.
Yeah.
A bit like water. That's how you know they're kind of natural. But
Yeah.
if you're looking at like electricity, it's very rigid and straight. So it's like that's why I'm seeing more that there's this kind of digital overlay of the natural world, and you can see how they're trying to impact the lays, doing it artificially.
Because I think by controlling it, they can actually control where it flows, right? So by taking over the control, it won't, it doesn't flow naturally like it should. They're trying to direct it to particular maybe portals or wherever they're going with all of this. Yeah, is that making sense? It's
Yeah, well,
how I'm making it.
we had a
Cool.
osteopath come and present the last two conferences actually, and this is why all this kind of stuff all intertwines, because he was teaching us about fluid dynamics, wasn't he, Maddy? And that
In the body.
I had this outbreak on my neck because I was doing like ice baths, and like I had a lot of toxins in my body, but they were coming out in the neck. And so he told me that there's your fluid dynamics aren't working in the body as a blockage. So it would be the same with a lay, that the energy is trying to move through. And if you've got people that are hijacking or intercepting a portal, then the fluid or the energy is not being able to travel through the lines.
Yeah, stagnant, very, very, Chinese medicine, that type of way. Yeah, same
Well,
thing.
didn't he say, Maddy, too, that like once you get your fluid dynamics properly in the body, that like, the energy is going to work.
The flow, the
And your
chi.
vital force is
Yeah.
moving. Yeah, because it's kind of like the body self-preserves. So it's like if it cuts off different parts of the body, that part can stop working and die. So you can see how they could use that with how they destroy the earth as well.
We need to go out with Julia, Becky, and do some singing down
I
the bush.
reckon the Avenue of Honor is significant too, Doris. Like this is where I live. This is like how I get into my
Oh yeah, I see it. You
home.
see it.
Mate, yeah, you've got it. That's a lay there. I can see it down the
Yeah,
bottom.
is that
That's
right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's
bigger.
it's huge.
It's bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there's something about that. And
Yeah, I see it.
yeah,
Good.
it's beautiful there.
Yeah, send that to me. We'll send it to Rachel.
Yeah, I'll save it and
So is that Bacchus Smash?
yeah. So that's just the Avenue of Honor. And they were trying to put a freeway through here too, just not long ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Don't you miss those beautiful autumn Victorias, Mads?
I do. I actually
You don't get those pictures up here, do you?
No.
So where are you currently, Mads?
I'm in central Queensland, so I'm not far from Rockhampton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we don't really have much of a season change. It's either wet or dry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, apparently we get frost, but I don't remember it last winter. But yeah, I miss
Where are
winter.
you in WA, Justin? You're in Perth, yeah?
Yeah, just south of Perth, Mandurah. Do you
Mandurah.
know a lady? Well, she likes to be called Pirate. Up your way, man.
Me? Oh no.
There's a lady that we talk to sometimes, but she likes to be called Pirate.
Yeah, that's her alias.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't forget that, Mads, would you? Mads is a bit of a hermit, though, so I don't think she knows many people.
Yeah,
Well,
Pirate's like a true.
Not that much of a hermit. I just hang out with different people.
I reckon you would really get along with Pirate.
Oh yeah, she's
sensational.
Like true Aussie chick. Yeah.
Oh, great, good,
Funny
love
as right into all this kind of stuff.
Oh, great, yeah, we definitely need to be friends then. What is she near Rockhampton?
Well, how far is Rockhampton from Bundy?
3 hours, I think, 3.5.
Okay, no, a bit further than I thought it was. Yeah. No.
Oh,
so,
she's near Bundaberg. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in
Get her
Mandurah.
onto the chat. You would absolutely love her. She's a
Apparently, we've got so there's I can't remember what the lake's called, but they reckon there's a lot of crafts come out of that area. People have seen the TR3Bs and
in WA.
Yeah, just down from where I live.
Is there a military base near there?
Nah, the base is north. So you've got the RAF base, you've got the SAS base, you got the old Karrakatta, old Lewin Barracks. Yeah, nothing down where I am really, but it's just this weird lake. I think they call them strombolites. So there's like a mushroom rock in this water. Very salty apparently. And yeah, they reckon stuff comes out of there. People see allegedly military choppers flying around there a lot too. So
Yeah.
I haven't heard much happening down that way lately, but yeah, people send me pictures sometimes.
That's what's been coming out the last 2 years. All these, well, they don't call them UFOs now; they call them
UAPs.
UAPs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all the stories are, yeah, like over lakes or oceans and stuff. They're coming in and out. That's
Well, yeah,
like,
it's weird because this
that's
one, like, you don't see much of a depth to this thing, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, it looks really shallow. So, but yeah, there's got to be something there hiding it if it's like that. The way I see it, anyway.
Yeah.
UAPs. It's not UFO. Sounds way better.
Yeah.
I know. I think
I'm trying to find this book for you.
Unidentified aerial phenomena. That's what they're called. There was nothing wrong. There's got to be a reason they done that too. Like there's
Yeah.
that is
Yeah,
not
I
done
reckon.
by mistake. There's a reason for that. Yeah.
Yeah, probably to put the people off the trail of it.
Yeah.
They always name it something new when people are, starting to research and dig the shit out of stuff and bring truth to
Well,
light.
yeah, I know they're going somewhere with this because, like, have you seen that Ross Coulthard? He's basically been doing it full time for the last 3 years now. You know him? He was like the old 60 Minutes reporter.
No, I don't know.
He's kind of ventured out and he's kind of like an independent journalist now. Like I don't trust the guy for what it's worth, but yeah, and he's been meeting with all these high level whistleblowers. They're basically trying to give, there's nothing new about it, but they're giving credibility through a mainstream journalist. And then like I listened to Tucker Carlson the other day. He was on Joe Rogan, and he was just hooked on this subject. And he said that he's met with all these high level people too, and he said that they're energy beings. Is what he's saying. It's good, and he said it's the most terrifying thing. It's the
Wow.
most terrifying information that anyone could ever know. So like, they're going somewhere with it.
Yeah, I have to finish listening to that one. I started listening to that and it was very interesting.
Yeah, I kind of like him. I mean, I know what he is, but like
Yeah. Rogan's doing a lot of good podcasts too. They do go for a long time, but they're really interesting. And another one I can't stop listening to is that Sean Ryan. Have you heard of him?
No.
Yeah. Some of the guests he has on are
He's
phenomenal.
What
Yeah.
about Sky to Earth
Navy
podcast?
SEAL. Sky to Earth. I love Sky to Earth. My favorite Sky to Earth podcast would have had to have been, I think I keep on telling you, Matt's Hero's Journey.
Oh, Matt, yeah.
Oh yeah, he was
Oh,
great.
that just did something to me, that podcast. I was telling everyone to listen to it.
It's such a beautiful story, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I've listened to it like 3 times.
Oh wow.
Amazing.
It's cool how each one sort of connects with people or sparks something in people.
Yeah.
Like you never expect it, but yeah, I get.
Yeah, that one, and also Julia, one of our 5 sisters. We love Julia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love Julia too. She's
Hey, I
such a
met
legend.
Julia's partner. I met Julia's partner at your thing.
That's
And I went,
right. I remember I was sitting.
I met Julia's mum and I'm like, oh, you Julia's sister? And she goes, no, it's her partner. I'm like, it's like look-alike. They look.
I did the same thing, Dale. I said, is this your sister?
And then like it made me, because I remember I went out with this girl at school. I think I was telling you, and like everyone used to think she was my sister because like we looked a lot alike. And I'm like, well, if your partner looks like you, it means you kind of, does that mean you're attracted to yourself, or you think you're Anyway, I literally thought it was her sister.
That's for another segment. We can
Anyway.
take a deep dive into that one.
Sorry, Julia. She was
She will be listening.
hopefully not.
Well,
Well, it's like how people look like their dogs, you know?
Don't they?
Yeah.
Funny
That's
story.
true.
I was leaving, I think I was with my son, and there was this guy walking along the street. He was like maxed up on steroids, this massive, muscly guy, and he had a tiny sausage dog. right? And my son, and it was
That's who he really is underneath.
and it was dark, and my son goes, and my son just had a look on his face, and he goes, "No wonder why he's walking in the effing dark." Because this little dog and this big muncho man, I couldn't stop laughing, and I was like, "Oh my God."
Oh, so funny.
People do look like their dogs though, some do.
Yeah,
They do. They do.
it's a whole thing.
I've seen like certain people start morphing into their friends. Like my mum looks like my auntie, but like my auntie's not blood related at all.
Mm.
But they like over, I guess, like 40 years, like they didn't used to. Now they're like, you'd think they're sisters.
Oh, but you call her your auntie.
Yeah, well, she's my
That's
auntie, but she's
crazy,
like
isn't
through marriage. But
Yeah.
yeah, like
Oh,
I
right.
think
Got you.
people, yeah, I think they start morphing the same characteristics as like there's a symbiosis starts happening, right?
Well,
Right.
funny you say that, Dale, because we were just discussing last month, Beck,
Yeah.
how friends and relatives, close relatives, right? People that women that are connected, very often menstruate together at the same time.
Yeah.
Want to tell them about our little discussion, how it started, Doris? That discussion.
Oh, please. I don't
Look
know.
at Justin. He's like,
He puts up with us all the time. We do like
Justin, this is where we
The
tune out.
stuff I've got to put up with these lot,
we
especially
do like
the
a
whole
3-way
five of them
call,
get
Maddy.
together.
Doris and I will be on the phone and we'll be like, "Let's go, Justin," and he's just
But this is it's like it's known. It's a known phenomenon. How does that happen that we synchronize to even menstruate
But it
together
wasn't
at the
just
same
Well,
that.
it's the
time?
same. It's like that's when, you know, everyone in the family all gets a cold or the flu at the same time. And that's, you know, the whole germ terrain theory thing. But it makes sense because one person sheds, everyone sheds, right? You start
Yeah.
because you're all sinking. My brother, he sleeps with his little boy. He's probably getting a bit too old to sleep with him, but he does. And he said like he's at work and he starts feeling tired like at 3 o'clock. And he's like, "Oh, did he have a nap?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, he goes, I nap when he naps, like because he's sick to his same body.
Bioresonance, I think it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? It's like a mother instinct too, you know, that motherly instinct that you have. Like I could be thinking something and then my son will come out and we'll both go, "What?" And he's like, "I was just thinking that." And I'll say, "Let's go here," or "Let's go for a walk." "I was just thinking, let's go." Yeah, it's amazing when that happens.
My dad came to me, it was about a month ago, and I was at his house. I got up in the morning and I went to the fridge, and like I never get oranges ever, like not interested. And I just opened the fridge, I didn't say a word to him, and he goes, "The oranges are in the fridge outside." And I'm like, I didn't say anything. He goes, "Yeah, they're outside." I'm like, "How the fuck
Oh,
did I
that's
have
so
the oranges?"
weird.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, he just knew. He actually said to me, he goes, "No, you said you're after oranges." I go, "I haven't said a word."
That's so funny.
Telepathic.
Came in with that energy of orange that everyone picked up on. Wow.
I said, "Dad, this is telepathy. This is like
Awesome. Oh, wow.
Yeah, when I was on the phone to Doris, we were talking about certain things, and I don't even know how it started. I think it was a pimple, wasn't it, Doris? I think we both we're talking about a pimple, and I said, "Oh my God, is it on your bottom left chin?" And she's like, "Yes." And I said, "I've got one too." And then she's like, and I go, "What other things have you got?" And we both said at the same time, "Itchy feet." And then we were both so together on
What the hell's going on?
and we're like, "Oh, we're spending way too much time together.
spending too much time."
Need to break that barrier a little bit."
Oh,
Well, it does happen with you and me quite a lot, Mads, doesn't it?
thought patterns, yeah.
Yeah,
Menstruate together?
Yeah, not menstruate, but
Geez, you're in trouble if that's happened.
we'll shut up, man.
Oh,
All right,
well,
next topic.
did you want to wrap it up, guys? Because it's been, I'm not sure yous have got on today, but
Whereabouts are you now at the moment, Dale? Like, are you still driving around, are you?
Yeah, floating. I'm just
Floating.
north of Newcastle at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to be back by June.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I reckon this will be fascinating to go out on a field trip and just maybe we can do ley lines or visit the shrine like we talked about.
I sent
we
Dale a
did.
little advertisement and he's like, "What the fuck? You haven't?" And I'm like, "No, we're just playing with you. Like we've already set up the tour."
They want me to run a tour around Melbourne.
Oh my God.
Imagine
Tour
that,
guide.
Dale's bus
A
tour.
metaphysical tour guide. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool, though. I reckon. All storming the shrine and seeing what we can all
Should
pick up
hire
on.
a bus. That would be so fun.
Yeah, we've already got a bus driver.
Oh my
We've already got one.
God, great.
Yeah, don't mention it to Doris because it will be booked. The bus will be waiting. Everything will be ready. You never mention an idea to Doris because it just happens within the next couple of weeks.
We just need a song. We just need a song to sing at the shrine.
Yeah, well, that's it. Think about that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, like Doris actually got up and she's like, "Yeah, Dale's running a tour tomorrow," and I'm like, "I did not say that."
Who wants to do a tour and everyone's putting their hands up?
I'm like, "Fuck."
That's putting somebody on the spot.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're going to manifest it, so watch out, Dale.
No, it would be fun though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Lovely to meet you, Maddy, and
thank you.
obviously Dale. Lovely to see your face in your bus again.
Thanks for having us on.
You're welcome. And I'll put the link for your conference as well for everyone to join. And thank you for the link and my little promo code.
Oh, you got the discount code, do you?
Yeah. So hopefully we get some people in there for you. And
Cool.
we'll do it again another time. We'll get you in to take a deep dive on some other stuff.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank you.
much.
Thanks for
Thanks,
this.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming along.
Thank
Cheers.
you. See ya.